down to the main issue, removed all sentiments and anything that was irrelevant. It was the most important things. And my husband is very analytical, and I was thinking like him at this point. But how I ended the letter was what was even more interesting. And as much as I was very angry at the beginning, and I had trashed most of the rubbish out of my system, I ended it by saying, and I sincerely say, love you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm hoping we can resolve this issue. And wallahi, this was the turning point in my marriage. Why? Because every time we sat down to try and solve a problem, talking face to face, I would roll my eyes. I was the one who would be I would interrupt, I would make faces, I would do everything wrong. So that was the best method for me. I'm sharing this with you as I said, this is what worked for me. When you reach that brick wall where you feel desperate, helpless, ask Allah to help you when you find yourself confused. However, make sure you never involve a middleman in your communication with Allah. No malams, no juju, no anti-juju juju. Somebody will tell you they did magani for your husband or your wife. That's why she's behaving or he's behaving like this. So you have to do the magani to counter the magani they did for him. Keep away from anything. Allah is sufficient for you. You don't need a middleman. Allah says, call on me and I will answer. Allah also said, and for everyone who is conscious of Allah, and for everyone who is conscious of Allah and relies on Him, He always prepares a way out and provides for him from sources he never could imagine, from sources he could never imagine. So Allah is sufficient. Settle your differences privately unless you see absolutely no other alternative. Then involve only those who really care about your marriage, who will give you good counsel, good advice, who will try and find a good resolution. Now, my dad did something I found very interesting when he got married to my mom. He told her, here are two people I trust. If you have any problems with me, you can go to them and talk to them and tell them, and I'm sure they'll try and find a good resolution for us. Someone very close to me as well did that. So it may work for you, but don't wait till the heat of the argument and say you want to go and find somebody. At that time you say, I'll go and tell Wani. And you say, no, don't tell this one. No, then I'll tell this person. And you start arguing over who to tell. Agree on this when everything is cool and calm and there's no issue. Now, some marriages cannot be sustained. Sadly, some marriages cannot be sustained. You may have tied your camel and done your dua. You've tied your camel, you've prayed to Allah, you've invested everything to make the marriage work. But your camel chewed the rope and didn't want to stay with you anymore. Or somebody stole your camel. Or your camel just simply didn't like you. You've done everything in your power to tie your camel, and your camel didn't want to stay. There are more cultural pressures for us to stay in a marriage that's not working. Sometimes due to egos, sometimes due to stigma. Oh, you don't want to be a divorcee. It's very bad. Yet we keep having children, or we stay in marriages because of children, with a mistaken belief that they are our insurance. Because of the children, things are actually going to get better, even when the relationship is deteriorating and getting toxic. Damaging the process. Making things worse, sometimes dragging them into the battle, making them up, making them take sides, drawing them into the battle, and unfortunately making them dysfunctional. Later on in life, they will resist us for that. If you find yourself having tried everything in your power to try and gain your spouse's attention, you've done everything to invest in the marriage, but you find that your spouse's heart is unattainable, unobtainable. Your spouse is oblivious or blind. I'll take it. Thank you. They say you should leave me. Oh. Your spouse is oblivious to what you are doing or blind. Check yourself. Is it that you are no longer attractive to your spouse? Or is your spouse's heart taken away somewhere else? Most important thing, check yourself, check your spouse, and talk. The Prophet ﷺ said, it is better to be alone than to be in bad company. And it's better to be in good company than to be alone. So regarding staying in or not, if you believe being alone is better for you than staying in the relationship, then you may want to look at that option. But this is only if everything else has failed. So do everything in your power to try and make your marriage work until you see no better alternative. But even when emotions are high, when the fire is burning, the room is charged, don't ever lose sight of the endearing qualities of your spouse, the good qualities in your spouse. You married your spouse out of love. You didn't pick your parents. You didn't even pick the kind of children you have, but you picked your spouse. And most likely you married out of love. Don't ever lose sight of that. Work at all times to find the good in each other. You owe your spouse your loyalty. So if things are not working out the way you had hoped, whose permission are you waiting for to fight to make the marriage work, to fix it? Allah says in Surah Al-Najm, nothing shall be accounted unto a person except what he strives for. And in time you shall see the result of your striving. Nothing shall be accounted unto you except what you're working hard for. And then there's a beautiful hadith that I love, where the Prophet ﷺ said, if you put your whole trust in Allah as you ought, He most certainly will satisfy your needs as He satisfied those of the birds. They come out hungry in the morning, but return satisfied to their nests. The thing about the birds is they don't sit there, they actually come out and work hard. So be like the birds, work hard for the success of your marriage. Make deliberate plans for your marriage. And don't forget the quote from Surah Al-Ra'd, where Allah says, Allah does not change the condition or the blessings of a people unless they change what lies within them. So what is it that lies within you? What efforts have you put into your marriage? Which of your habits are getting in the way of the success of your marriage? And what habits do you need to overcome that are affecting the marriage? Is it your hot temper? Is it your lack of discipline? Your lack of appreciation? Our ultimate goal in life is to please Allah, and marriage is half of our faith. So strive to make your marriage work, and may your striving find favor with Allah. There is a lovely quote from Zaid Parvez, where he says, if you don't know where you're going, then any road will take you there. If you don't know where you're going, then it doesn't matter which route you take. Any road you go will take you there. But where is that there? Where are you going with your marriage? Do you have a plan with your spouse? Do you have an individual goal for your marriage and a goal as a couple? What will you start working on today in your marriage so that you have minimum regrets? At sunrise, don't expect to see sunset. Don't let anything slow you down. Give 110% of yourself to your spouse and to your marriage, to your family. Don't lose yourself doing or pursuing material things and neglect the most important things. There isn't enough time to do everything in life, but there is enough time to do the most important things. Work on setting your goals around 5 areas. I think I might go over my time by 2 minutes, but inshallah I'll do my best to wrap up. Let me quickly rush through these 5 areas. Do what you can with your spouse in your spiritual area. Number 1, spiritual growth. Connect with Allah. Connect and purify your heart with Allah. Both of you. Then physical. Don't neglect your body. Look good for your spouse. Take care of your health. Look good and smell good. Make sure you both find each other attractive. For us, after having a few children, we start to know that gravity exists. We start to spread from all angles. But then you have the brothers who I love, who do solidarity with us. They start developing the second trimester pot belly. But it doesn't mean we find it attractive. So we all need to maintain and look good for one another and smell good. Develop a beautiful mind. Grow intellectually. Don't find yourself mentally far apart that you don't have much in common to talk to each other about. So grow together. Have something in common that you can talk about with each other. And then be financially responsible and take your professional preoccupations seriously. Be financially responsible. Money is such a big issue of contention. Don't find that one spouse is saving money for a rainy day for the future of the marriage while the other one is going shopping. And then develop a healthy relationship. Of course, the first relationship to develop is your relationship with Allah. It is the rope that should never break. He is your lifeline. However, your social relationship, your relationship with your spouse and others is everything. People diagnosed with terminal illnesses say that the most important thing they want by their sides when they are on their deathbed is their loved ones. So your relationship with your spouse is so critical. Develop a strong, balanced relationship. Communication is everything. Be your spouse's cheerleader. They are super fans. I always say that my parents gave me the foundation, but my husband gave me the wings to fly because he was always there for me. He was always encouraging. He always said, Mariam, give it a shot. What have you got to lose? Well done. I'm so proud of you. So be your spouse's cheerleader. Praise them. Commend them, and most likely they will mirror that. I always tell my husband that he's a gift from Allah for me, and I sometimes startle him. I'll say, Saeed, and he'll turn around, Lafia. And I'll say, Allah created you just for me. Do as much as you can together. Learn to speak your spouse's love language. There are 5 love languages. Let me rush through them. Everyone has something you would do for them that will make them feel loved. The first one could be, love to someone could be quality time or quantity time. Love to someone could be quality time or quantity time. Others could be physical touch, like hugs. Another one could be words of affirmation. My brother is on stage and I have 2 minutes. I said, hi. Love to someone could be gifts. Another could be an act of service. You help them. Some may be more important to others, but learn through communication to find out and understand your spouse's unique wants, needs, and fantasies. Be the apple of your spouse's eye. Some people will say the cockroach in his cupboard, there's fly in his soup and everything. Rock their world. So you look forward to coming home to each other. Do research and homework. Go on the net, read books on how to spice up the marriage. Be playful with your spouse. The Prophet ﷺ was known to even race with Aisha. She won the first race, he won the second. He even playfully joked that that one he won was in revenge for the first one. And be adventurous with your spouse. Intimacy is such an important part. Do not develop barriers that don't exist and say that one is for Turawa. The Prophet was known to even bathe with his wife, with Aisha. Don't be stagnant. If you can balance those 5 areas, inshallah, you will have a very healthy relationship. Final words, have discipline and self-control. Self-discipline is necessary to protect your marriage. Resist temptation and be loyal to your spouse and your children. Resist the lure of comparing your spouse to others. Stay on track in your decisions. And then maximize the time spent with your spouse. Make every moment count. Grow and improve with your spouse and let your spouse learn from your growth. Finally, the quote from Surah Al-Rum where Allah says, and amongst his signs is that he created for you mates, that you might find tranquility in them. He created for you mates, that you might find tranquility in them, and has placed between you love and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for those who reflect. Since my time is up, I will stop here. May Allah forgive me for where I may have erred. May Allah continue to strengthen your unions. If you are yet to be married, may Allah make you the perfect companion for someone special out there. May Allah help you find the right partner. For everybody else, thank you so much for your time. Jazakumullahu khairan.
That has been Hajia